What you're about to hear will change everything you think you know about love, loyalty, and the incredible bond between humans and animals. This isn't just another feel-good pet story. This is the documented account of a cat whose 52-day vigil outside a hospital would spark a medical revolution and touch millions of lives worldwide. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. This cat wasn't just waiting for anyone. He was waiting for someone who could never, ever come home. And when the truth finally emerged, it would shake the medical world to its core and prove that some bonds are stronger than death itself. I'm about to tell you the most incredible true story you've ever heard. A story so powerful that it's been featured in medical journals, inspired Hollywood movies, and changed hospital policies around the globe. This is the story of Max, an orange tabby cat whose unwavering devotion would revolutionize modern medicine and prove that miracles still happen in the most unexpected ways. Picture this. It's 5:23 a.m. on a foggy Tuesday morning in Seattle. The streets are empty, the city is still sleeping, and the only sound is the gentle hum of traffic lights changing colors in the distance. But at Seattle General Hospital, something extraordinary is about to begin. Security guard James Wilson is making his routine morning rounds when he spots something unusual near the main entrance. There, sitting perfectly still beside the automatic doors, is a beautiful orange tabby cat with distinctive white markings on his chest and paws. Now, James has worked hospital security for 14 years. He's seen everything: medical emergencies, family dramas, the occasional homeless person seeking shelter, and yes, stray animals looking for food scraps. But this cat is different. The feline isn't prowling around the dumpsters or meowing for attention. Instead, he's sitting with an almost regal posture, his bright green eyes fixed intently on the hospital entrance. His orange fur is clean and well-groomed, and around his neck is a blue collar with a small silver tag that catches the morning light. "Hey there, buddy," James says softly, approaching the cat. "You waiting for someone?" The cat, who we'll later learn is named Max, turns his head briefly to acknowledge James, then immediately returns his attention to those glass doors. It's as if he's on a mission, standing guard, waiting for something incredibly important to happen. James tries to coax the cat away from the entrance. After all, hospitals have strict policies about animals on the premises. But Max refuses to budge. He's not aggressive or frightened. He's simply determined to stay exactly where he is. "All right, you can hang out for a bit," James says, making a mental note to keep an eye on the situation. "But if you cause any problems, you're out of here." As the morning progresses and the city begins its daily rhythm of activity, Max remains motionless in his chosen spot. Doctors arriving for early shifts notice him. Nurses heading to their stations pause to look at the faithful feline. Even patients who are well enough to walk around come to see the famous feline who's claimed the spot by the main entrance. But Max barely seems to register their presence. His focus is laser sharp on those automatic doors, as if he's expecting someone very specific to walk through them at any moment. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, the hospital's chief of cardiology, arrives at 6:45 a.m. for what she expects to be another routine day. But as she approaches the main entrance, she's struck by the sight of the orange tabby sitting vigil beside the doors. Dr. Mitchell has always been an animal lover, despite her demanding career leaving little time for pets of her own. Something about this cat's behavior immediately captures her attention. "How long has he been here?" she asks James, who's been keeping a watchful eye on the situation. "Since before dawn. He won't move from that spot. I've tried offering him some food from the cafeteria, even tried gently encouraging him to leave, but he's determined to stay right there." Dr. Mitchell kneels down to get a better look at the cat. What she sees in Max's eyes surprises her. There's an intensity there, a depth of emotion that seems almost human. It's not the vacant stare of a confused animal. It's the focused gaze of someone with a purpose. He's waiting for someone, Dr. Mitchell says with certainty. Look at how he's positioned himself. He has a perfect view of everyone coming and going, but he's not blocking the entrance or causing any disruption. This is deliberate behavior. As if responding to their conversation, Max turns his head slightly to look at Dr. Mitchell. For a moment, their eyes meet, and she feels a strange connection to this mysterious feline. Then Max returns his attention to the doors, his vigil continuing. Throughout the morning, word about Max spreads through the hospital. Nurses mention him during shift changes. Orderlies point him out to colleagues. Even patients who are well enough to walk around come to see the famous feline who's claimed the spot by the main entrance. But Max remains focused on his mission, whatever that might be. By noon, someone has taken a photo of Max and posted it on social media with the caption, "This cat has been sitting outside Seattle General Hospital all morning. Does anyone know who he belongs to?" The post is shared dozens of times within the first hour, then hundreds. By evening, it's been shared thousands of times across multiple platforms, with people from around the world commenting with their theories about why Max might be waiting at the hospital. Some suggest he's a lost pet looking for his owner. Others theorize that he's waiting for a sick family member to be discharged. A few share their own stories of loyal pets who waited faithfully for their humans to return. But nobody has the answer to the mystery of Max's vigil. The next morning, Max is back in the exact same position. James arrives for his shift to find the orange tabby sitting vigil beside the entrance, just as he had the day before. "You're persistent, I'll give you that," James says to Max, who acknowledges him with a brief glance before returning to his watch. Dr. Mitchell brings a small container of cat food and a bowl of water, thinking Max might be hungry or thirsty. The cat sniffs the food politely, but shows little interest in eating. He takes a few sips of water, then returns to his post. This behavior puzzles everyone who observes it. Stray cats are typically eager for food, especially high-quality cat food. But Max seems to have a different priority altogether, one that supersedes even basic needs like hunger. Nurse Linda Rodriguez, who's been working at Seattle General for over 15 years, stops to observe Max during her lunch break. She's seen plenty of unusual situations in her career, but this cat's behavior is unlike anything she encountered. "It's like he's working," Linda tells her colleague, Nurse Janet Kim, "like he has a job to do and he's not going to leave until it's finished." But what kind of job requires a cat to sit outside a hospital entrance? Janet wonders out loud. By the third day, Max's story has attracted the attention of local news outlets. A reporter from Channel 5 News arrives to interview hospital staff and film the faithful feline for the evening broadcast. "We've never seen anything quite like this," Dr. Mitchell tells the reporter from Channel 5. "This cat has been here for 3 days straight, maintaining the same position, watching every person who enters and exits our hospital. He's clearly waiting for someone specific." The news segment airs that evening, bringing even more attention to Max's story. The hospital's phone lines are flooded with calls from people offering to adopt the cat, sharing their own stories of loyal pets, or providing theories about his behavior. But despite all the attention, Max remains focused on his mission. He's developed a routine of sorts, sitting vigil from dawn till dusk, taking brief breaks to eat small amounts of food and drink water, then sleeping curled up near the entrance where he can still see the doors. Dr. Kim Patel, a veterinarian who consults at the hospital, is called in to examine Max and ensure he's healthy. Her assessment reveals that Max is in excellent condition, well-nourished, no signs of illness or injury, and clearly accustomed to human contact. This cat has been well cared for by someone, Dr. Patel reports. His behavior suggests a strong attachment to a specific person or place. The question is, why here? Why this hospital? On day 7 of Max's vigil, something significant happens. Mrs. Eleanor Thompson, a 79-year-old woman with silver hair and kind eyes, is being discharged from the hospital after recovering from a minor stroke. Her daughter, Rebecca, is wheeling her toward the main entrance when Max suddenly stands up for the first time in days. The cat's entire body language changes. His ears perk forward, his tail begins to twitch with excitement, and he takes several steps toward the approaching wheelchair. But as Mrs. Thompson and Rebecca pass by, Max's excitement fades. He watches them leave through the glass doors, then slowly returns to his spot with what can only be described as disappointment. "Did you see that?" Nurse Rodriguez asked Dr. Mitchell, who witnessed the interaction. "He thought she was someone else. He's definitely waiting for a specific person." This observation leads to a new theory among the hospital staff. In 30 years of working with therapy animals, I've never encountered a cat with this level of emotional intelligence, Dr. Foster reports after her initial assessment. Max seems to have an innate ability to sense when people are in distress and respond appropriately. During the evaluation process, Max is introduced to various hospital scenarios: loud noises, medical equipment, crowds of people, and patients in different states of health and emotion. In every situation, he remains calm and focused, seeming to understand instinctively how to behave. Most remarkably, Max demonstrates an uncanny ability to identify patients who are struggling emotionally. During a test visit to the pediatric ward, he walks past several rooms before stopping at the door of 9-year-old Emma Rodriguez, who has been recovering from a serious car accident and struggling with anxiety and nightmares. Without any prompting, Max enters Emma's room and jumps onto her bed. He curls up beside her and begins purring softly. Within minutes, Emma's visible distress decreases, and she begins gently stroking Max's fur. "He's like a magic kitty," Emma whispers to her mother. "He makes the scary feelings go away." On day 52 of his original vigil, Max's life changes forever. The hospital administration has approved the therapy animal program, and Max is officially certified as Seattle General's first therapy cat. A ceremony is held to mark the occasion, with hospital staff, local media, and community members in attendance. Mrs. Foster, who had known both Robert and Max, is invited to speak about their relationship. "Robert always said that Max had a special gift," she tells the assembled crowd, her voice filled with emotion. "He could sense when Robert was having a difficult day and would stay close to provide comfort. He seemed to understand when Robert was worried about something and do little things to make him smile." Mrs. Foster pauses, looking at Max, who is sitting calmly beside the podium, wearing a new collar with his official therapy animal identification. "I think Robert would be incredibly proud to know that Max is continuing to do what he does best, taking care of people who need love and comfort. In a way, Robert's spirit lives on through Max's work here at the hospital." The ceremony concludes with Max taking his first official steps through the hospital doors, not as a waiting, grieving pet, but as a certified therapy animal with a new mission to heal and comfort others. Max's first official day as a therapy cat at Seattle General Hospital marks the beginning of a medical revolution that would change healthcare forever. His initial patient visits reveal an almost supernatural ability to provide exactly the right kind of comfort at exactly the right moment. His day begins in the cardiac unit, the same ward where Robert had spent his final weeks. It seems fitting that Max would start his new career in the place where his old life had ended. His first patient is 71-year-old Margaret Johnson, who is recovering from heart surgery and has been struggling with severe depression since her operation. Margaret has been uncooperative with her physical therapy and has told the nursing staff that she doesn't want to continue fighting. When Max enters Margaret's room, her entire demeanor changes. "Oh my," she says, her voice softening for the first time since her surgery. "Aren't you beautiful?" Max approaches Margaret's bed slowly, then jumps up and settles beside her. As Margaret begins stroking his soft orange fur, she begins talking, really talking for the first time since her operation. "I had a cat once. Her name was Ginger, and she looked just like you. She used to sleep right here on my bed, and she always seemed to know when I was sad or scared." The conversation that follows is the breakthrough Margaret's medical team has been hoping for. With Max purring beside her, Margaret begins to open up about her fears, her loneliness, and her struggle to find reasons to keep fighting. By the end of the visit, she has agreed to participate in her rehabilitation program. Word of Max's success spreads quickly throughout Seattle General. Patients begin asking specifically for visits from the therapy cat, and the nursing staff notices immediate improvements in the moods and cooperation levels of patients who spend time with him. In the oncology ward, Max provides comfort to cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy. His calm presence seems to ease their anxiety and provide a welcome distraction from their treatments. 16-year-old David Martinez, who is receiving treatment for leukemia, has been having severe anxiety attacks during his chemotherapy sessions. After Max begins visiting during his treatments, David's anxiety decreases significantly, and he's able to complete his sessions without medication for panic attacks. "There's something magical about that cat," David's mother tells the nursing staff. "When Max is in the room, David seems to forget about being sick. He just focuses on petting Max and telling him about school, his friends, everything normal in his life." Dr. Mitchell begins systematically documenting the effects of Max's visits on patient outcomes. What she discovers is remarkable. Patients who spend time with Max show measurable improvements in multiple areas. Blood pressure readings are consistently lower after therapy cat visits. Patients report reduced anxiety levels on standardized assessment scales. Requests for pain medication decrease among patients who receive regular visits from Max. Most significantly, patient satisfaction scores improve dramatically in units where Max makes regular rounds. "The data is undeniable," Dr. Mitchell reports to the hospital administration. "Max isn't just providing emotional comfort, he's contributing to measurable improvements in patient health outcomes." The success of the Therapy Cat program begins attracting attention from medical professionals at other hospitals. Dr. Mitchell is invited to present her findings at medical conferences, and Seattle General begins receiving inquiries from hospitals around the world interested in starting their own therapy programs. As Max's reputation grows, his role at the hospital expands beyond individual patient visits. He begins participating in group therapy sessions, providing comfort during difficult family meetings, and even attending memorial services for patients who have passed away. One of his most impactful contributions comes during a support group meeting for families dealing with terminal diagnoses. The session has been particularly emotional, with several family members breaking down as they discuss their fears and grief. Max, who has been resting quietly in the corner of the room, suddenly gets up and walks to a man who has been crying silently. He jumps onto his lap and begins purring, providing exactly the comfort needed at that moment. "It's like he has a sixth sense," the man says through his tears. "He knows exactly when someone needs him most." Max's work in the pediatric ward proves to be particularly transformative. Children facing serious illnesses often struggle with fear, anxiety, and loneliness that traditional medical treatments can't address. Max's presence provides a unique form of therapy that speaks directly to their emotional needs. 10-year-old Sofia Martinez has been in the hospital for 3 weeks receiving treatment for a rare autoimmune disorder.
She has been withdrawn and fearful, refusing to participate in play therapy or interact with other children. When Max first visits Sophia's room, she is curled up in her bed, facing away from the door. Max jumps onto the bed and gently nuzzles against her shoulder. Sophia turns around, and for the first time in weeks, she smiles. "Kitty!" she exclaims, immediately beginning to pet Max's soft fur. "Are you here to be my friend?" From that day forward, Sophia looks forward to Max's visits. She saves up stories to tell him, draws pictures of him, and even begins participating in group activities, hoping to see Max in the playroom. The success of Max's work in other parts of the hospital leads to his introduction to the emergency department, where patients and families often experience the highest levels of stress and anxiety. The emergency department is a challenging environment for any therapy animal. It's loud, chaotic, and filled with people in crisis. But Max adapts remarkably well, seeming to understand that his role here is different from his work in other parts of the hospital. During one particularly busy night, a family is waiting for news about their teenage daughter who has been in a serious car accident. The parents are distraught, and their younger son is having a panic attack. Max appears in the waiting room and goes directly to the boy. He sits beside his chair and allows the child to pet him while they wait for updates from the medical team. His presence provides a calming influence that helps the entire family cope with their crisis. Healthcare workers face enormous emotional and physical demands in their daily work. Burnout, compassion fatigue, and stress-related health problems are epidemic in the medical profession. Max becomes an unexpected source of support for the hospital staff as well. During particularly difficult shifts, nurses and doctors often seek out Max for a few minutes of stress relief. His calm presence and gentle purring provide a moment of peace in the midst of medical chaos. "Sometimes I'll have an incredibly tough day." Robert always said that Max had a special gift, she tells the assembled crowd of hospital staff, patients, and community members. He could sense when Robert was having a difficult day and would stay close to provide comfort. He seemed to understand when Robert was worried about something and would do little things to make him smile. Mrs. Foster pauses, looking at Max, who is sitting calmly beside the podium, as if he understands the significance of the moment. "I think Robert would be incredibly proud to know that Max is still doing what he does best, taking care of people who need love and comfort." In a way, Robert's spirit lives on through Max's work here at the hospital. The ceremony concludes with the unveiling of a small memorial garden near the hospital entrance, featuring a bronze statue of Max in his original waiting position. The plaque reads, "In memory of Robert Chen and in honor of Max, a testament to the healing power of unconditional love." As Max enters his second year at Seattle General Hospital, his influence has grown far beyond what anyone could have imagined. The Therapy Cat program that began with one grieving feline has sparked a global revolution in healthcare, changing how medical professionals think about healing, compassion, and the role of animals in human wellness. The research conducted on Max and the therapy animal program at Seattle General has been published in over 50 medical journals worldwide. The data is undeniable. Patients who receive animal-assisted therapy show significant improvements in recovery times, pain management, emotional well-being, and overall satisfaction with their medical care. But the impact goes far beyond statistics and research papers. Max has fundamentally changed the culture at Seattle General, creating an environment where healing is understood to involve not just the body, but the mind and spirit as well. The success of Max's program led to the establishment of the Robert Chen Center for Animal-Assisted Therapy, a state-of-the-art research and training facility built on the hospital grounds. The center is funded through donations from people around the world who've been touched by Max's story. Dr. Mitchell serves as the center's director, overseeing research projects that examine the physiological and psychological effects of animal-assisted therapy. The center's work is groundbreaking, providing scientific evidence for what many pet owners have always known, that animals have a profound impact on human health and well-being. The center includes research laboratories equipped with the latest neuroimaging technology, training areas for therapy animals, and comfortable spaces where patients can interact with various animals in a controlled environment. One of the center's most significant studies involves measuring brain activity in patients before, during, and after interactions with therapy animals. Using advanced fMRI technology, researchers are able to show that contact with animals like Max activates specific regions of the brain associated with emotional regulation, stress reduction, and social bonding. The study reveals that petting Max triggers the release of oxytocin, often called the love hormone, which promotes feelings of bonding and well-being. It also decreases the production of cortisol, the primary stress hormone, leading to measurable reductions in anxiety and depression. Perhaps most remarkably, the research shows that these neurological changes persist long after the animal interaction ends, suggesting that therapy animal visits have lasting effects on brain chemistry and emotional well-being. The success of Max's work leads to a massive expansion of the therapy animal program at Seattle General. The hospital now employs 12 therapy animals, 6 cats, 4 dogs, and 2 rabbits, each with their own specialties and areas of focus. Max remains the senior therapy animal, often serving as a mentor to newer additions to the program. His calm demeanor and intuitive understanding of human emotions make him an ideal teacher for other animals learning to work in a hospital environment. The training program developed at Seattle General becomes the international gold standard for therapy animal certification. Hospitals, nursing homes, and rehabilitation centers from around the world send their staff to Seattle to learn from Max and his team. Max's story has inspired the creation of therapy animal programs in over 200 hospitals across 30 countries. The International Association for Therapy Animal Therapy, headquartered at Seattle General, coordinates these programs and facilitates the sharing of best practices and research findings. Annual conferences bring together therapy animal handlers, researchers, and healthcare professionals from around the world to learn from each other and advance the field of animal-assisted therapy. Max often serves as the keynote presenter at these events, demonstrating his skills and inspiring new generations of therapy animals and their handlers. As technology advances, Seattle General begins incorporating new tools to enhance Max's effectiveness as a therapy animal. A specially designed mobile app allows patients to request visits from Max, track their interactions with him, and even participate in virtual reality experiences featuring the famous cat. Wearable sensors monitor Max's stress levels, activity patterns, and vital signs, ensuring that he isn't overworked and that his own well-being is protected. The data collected also provides valuable insights into how therapy animals respond to different hospital environments and patient interactions. Medical schools and nursing programs around the world begin incorporating courses on therapy animal therapy into their curricula, often using Max's story as the primary case study. Students regularly visit Seattle General to observe Max in action and learn about the integration of therapy animals into medical care. Watching Max work has fundamentally changed how I think about healing, says Jennifer Martinez, a medical student who completed a rotation at Seattle General. He's taught me that medicine isn't just about treating diseases, it's about caring for the whole person, including their emotional and spiritual needs. The University of Washington establishes the first master's degree program in animal-assisted therapy, with Max serving as the program's unofficial mascot and primary teaching example. The success of Max's hospital work inspired the development of massive community outreach programs. Max and his fellow therapy animals began making regular visits to schools, nursing homes, rehabilitation centers, and even prisons throughout the Pacific Northwest. These community visits help spread awareness about the benefits of therapy animal therapy while also providing Max with new challenges and experiences. Children at local schools eagerly await Max's visits, and many credit their interactions with him for inspiring their interest in veterinary medicine or healthcare careers. The research conducted at the Robert Chen Center leads to several groundbreaking discoveries about the mechanisms behind animal-assisted therapy. Scientists discover that interaction with therapy animals triggers a cascade of neurochemical changes that promote healing and well-being. They find that regular contact with therapy animals can boost immune system function, reduce inflammation, accelerate wound healing, and even improve cardiovascular health. These findings provide scientific validation for the anecdotal evidence that hospital staff have been observing for years. One particularly significant study shows that patients who receive regular visits from Max require 30% less pain medication, have 25% shorter hospital stays, and show 40% better compliance with treatment protocols compared to control groups. Max's work expands to include specialized programs for specific patient populations. He begins working with veterans suffering from PTSD, children with autism spectrum disorders, elderly patients with dementia, and individuals recovering from substance abuse. Each population presents unique challenges and opportunities. Veterans often find that Max's calm presence helps them manage anxiety and flashbacks. Children with autism sometimes communicate more freely with Max than with human therapists. Elderly patients with dementia often show improved cognitive function and emotional stability after spending time with Max. When a major earthquake strikes the Pacific Northwest, Max and his therapy animal team are deployed as part of the hospital's crisis response. They work with emergency responders, disaster victims, and hospital staff who are dealing with the trauma and stress of the natural disaster. Max's presence in the emergency shelters provides comfort to families who have lost their homes and possessions. His calm demeanor helps children cope with the fear and uncertainty of the disaster, while his interactions with adults provide moments of peace in the midst of chaos. The success of the therapy animals during the crisis led to their formal inclusion in the hospital's disaster response protocols, making Seattle General one of the first medical facilities to officially recognize therapy animals as essential crisis support resources. As Max enters his senior years, the hospital staff begins comprehensive planning for the future of the therapy animal program. They are training additional therapy cats and dogs to ensure continuity of the program, while also expanding into new areas of the hospital and community. Plans are underway to establish satellite therapy animal programs at other hospitals throughout the region, with Max serving as the inspiration and model for these new initiatives. Some researchers are even exploring the possibility of training therapy animals to detect early signs of medical conditions, potentially allowing for earlier intervention and better patient outcomes. Advanced technology is being developed to enhance the effectiveness of therapy animal programs. Virtual reality systems allow patients who cannot physically interact with animals to experience the benefits of animal companionship through immersive simulations. Artificial intelligence systems are being developed to help match patients with the most appropriate therapy animals based on their specific needs, medical conditions, and personal preferences. These systems use data from thousands of patient interactions to optimize the therapy animal experience. Researchers are even exploring the possibility of robotic therapy animals that could provide some of the benefits of animal interaction in situations where live animals are not practical or available. Despite years of intensive research and observation, Max continues to surprise and amaze the people who work with him. His ability to sense when patients need him most remains as mysterious as ever, defying scientific explanation while providing undeniable benefits to those he serves. There are still times when Max will do something that leaves us all speechless, reflects Dr. Mitchell. He'll appear at exactly the right moment, provide exactly the right kind of comfort, and somehow know exactly what a patient needs. It's like he has access to some kind of knowledge or intuition that we don't understand and may never fully comprehend. Working with Max has transformed not only the patients he serves, but also the healthcare professionals who work alongside him. Many staff members report that their interactions with Max have made them more compassionate, more patient, and more attuned to the emotional needs of their patients. Max has made me a better nurse, says Patricia Rodriguez, who has been working with Max since his early days at the hospital. He's taught me to pay attention to the subtle signs that patients give when they're struggling emotionally. He's shown me that healing involves more than just medical procedures. It requires genuine caring and compassion. The impact of Max's work extends far beyond the walls of Seattle General Hospital. Patients who have been helped by Max often go on to volunteer with animal rescue organizations, support therapy animal programs, or pursue careers in healthcare or veterinary medicine. Families who have experienced the healing power of Max's presence become advocates for animal-assisted therapy, sharing their stories and supporting the expansion of similar programs. The ripple effects of Max's work continue to spread, touching lives in ways that can never be fully measured or quantified. As Max enters his 12th year of life and 6th year of service at Seattle General Hospital, his impact on the world of healthcare and animal-human relationships has become immeasurable. The orange tabby cat who once sat faithfully outside hospital doors waiting for an owner who would never return has become a global symbol of hope, healing, and the transformative power of unconditional love. The therapy animal movement that began with Max's story has now spread to over 500 hospitals across 45 countries. The research conducted on Max and his fellow therapy animals has fundamentally changed how the medical community understands the role of emotional and spiritual healing in physical recovery. But perhaps most importantly, Max has changed the way millions of people think about the relationship between humans and animals, demonstrating that our animal companions are capable of profound empathy, complex emotions, and genuine healing abilities. As Max ages, the hospital staff begins implementing a carefully planned transition that will allow him to reduce his patient load while still maintaining his role as a mentor and inspiration to newer therapy animals. At 12 years old, he remains healthy and active, but the demands of daily patient visits are beginning to take their toll. A gradual transition plan is developed that allows Max to focus on the most critical cases while spending more time training the next generation of therapy animals. He continues to participate in special events, research studies, and training programs, sharing his expertise with therapy animals and handlers from around the world. The hospital also begins planning for Max's eventual complete retirement and eventually his passing, recognizing that his death will be a significant loss not only to the hospital community, but to the millions of people around the world who have been touched by his story. The plans are already well underway for a memorial that will honor Max's contributions to healthcare and animal-assisted therapy. The memorial will include a life-sized bronze statue of Max in his original waiting position near the hospital entrance, along with an extensive healing garden where patients and families can find peace and reflection. The memorial will also feature an interactive museum exhibit telling Max's complete story and educating visitors about the benefits of animal-assisted therapy. The exhibit will include videos of Max working with patients, testimonials from people he has helped, detailed information about the research his work has inspired, and interactive displays that allow visitors to experience some of the neurological effects of animal interaction. A substantial scholarship fund has been established in Max's name to support students pursuing careers in veterinary medicine, animal behavior, psychology, and animal-assisted therapy. The fund has already provided full scholarships to over 100 students, ensuring that Max's legacy will continue through the next generation of professionals working to improve the lives of both animals and humans. The scholarship recipients are required to complete extensive community service projects related to animal welfare or therapy animal programs, further extending Max's impact on communities around the world. Many recipients have gone on to establish their own therapy animal programs or conduct groundbreaking research in animal-assisted therapy. The research inspired by Max's work continues to yield revolutionary insights into the mechanisms of animal-assisted therapy and the nature of human-animal bonds. Scientists have identified specific neurochemical pathways that are activated by interaction with therapy animals, leading to the development of new therapeutic approaches for various medical and psychological conditions. Clinical trials are underway to test the effectiveness of animal-assisted therapy for specific conditions like Alzheimer's disease, autism spectrum disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, and treatment-resistant depression. The results are consistently promising, suggesting that therapy animals like Max could play a crucial role in treating these challenging conditions. Researchers have also begun studying the long-term effects of animal-assisted therapy, following patients for years after their initial interactions with therapy animals. The data shows that the benefits of animal-assisted therapy can persist for months or even years after the initial treatment, suggesting that these interventions have lasting effects on both physical and mental health. A comprehensive international study has been conducted to assess the global impact of Max's story and the therapy animal programs it has inspired. The study finds that thousands of therapy animals are now working in healthcare facilities around the world, directly inspired by Max's example and the research conducted at Seattle General. The economic impact is staggering, with therapy animal programs generating hundreds of millions of dollars in healthcare savings through reduced medication use, shorter hospital stays, improved patient outcomes, and decreased readmission rates. The social impact is even greater, with countless individuals and families reporting dramatically improved quality of life as a result of their interactions with therapy animals. A major streaming platform produces an extensive documentary series following Max and other therapy animals as they go about their daily work. The series provides an intimate, behind-the-scenes look at the relationships between therapy animals and their patients, showcasing the profound impact these animals have on healing and recovery. The documentary series wins multiple Emmy Awards and is broadcast in over 80 countries, further spreading awareness about the benefits of animal-assisted therapy and inspiring new programs around the world. An extensive series of children's books featuring Max as the main character have been published in over 30 languages around the world, teaching young readers about empathy, compassion, and the special bond between humans and animals. The books have sold over 10 million copies worldwide, with all proceeds supporting animal rescue organizations and therapy animal programs. The series has been credited with inspiring thousands of children to pursue careers in veterinary medicine, animal behavior, and healthcare. Research conducted on Max and other therapy animals led to a revolutionary medical breakthrough in the treatment of anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Scientists discovered that regular interaction with therapy animals could be as effective as traditional medications in treating these conditions, with fewer side effects and better long-term outcomes. This discovery led to fundamental changes in treatment protocols at hospitals and clinics around the world, with therapy animals becoming a standard part of care for patients with mental health.
31% decrease in pain medication usage, 18% improvement in patient satisfaction scores, 15% reduction in readmission rates, 27% decrease in staff turnover. The economic benefits extended beyond individual hospitals. Insurance companies began offering premium discounts for facilities with certified therapy animal programs. Medical malpractice insurers reduced rates for hospitals that demonstrated improved patient outcomes through animal-assisted therapy. The therapy animal industry itself became a significant economic force, generating billions in revenue through training programs, certification processes, specialized equipment, and support services. As therapy animal programs expanded globally, environmental concerns emerged. The carbon footprint of transporting animals to various facilities, the resources required to care for therapy animals, and the impact on wild animal populations used in some programs required careful consideration. Oliver's program became a model for sustainable therapy animal practices. The hospital partnered with local animal shelters, giving rescued animals new purpose while addressing pet overpopulation. Solar panels powered the therapy animal facilities. Organic, locally sourced food reduced environmental impact. The program also emphasized the connection between environmental health and human health. Patients working with therapy animals often developed a greater appreciation for nature and environmental conservation, leading to lifestyle changes that benefited both personal and planetary health. Advanced brain imaging studies of patients interacting with Oliver revealed remarkable neurological changes. Functional MRI scans showed increased activity in brain regions associated with emotional regulation, social bonding, and pain management. Most surprisingly, researchers discovered that regular interaction with therapy animals could promote neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural connections. This finding had profound implications for treating conditions like stroke, traumatic brain injury, and neurodegenerative diseases. Patients with Alzheimer's disease showed temporary improvements in memory and cognitive function after spending time with therapy animals. While the effects weren't permanent, they provided valuable windows of clarity and connection for patients and families. Oliver's work with children led to the development of specialized pediatric therapy animal programs. These programs recognized that children's needs and responses to animals differed significantly from adults. Pediatric therapy animals received additional training in child development, play therapy techniques, and age-appropriate interactions. They learned to work with children who might be rough or unpredictable in their handling of animals. The pediatric programs also addressed the unique challenges of working with seriously ill children. Therapy animals provided comfort during painful procedures, distraction during long treatments, and emotional support for children facing uncertain futures. The aging population presented new opportunities for therapy animal programs. Elderly patients often experienced isolation, depression, and cognitive decline that could be addressed through animal interaction. Oliver's work in the geriatric ward revealed the profound impact therapy animals could have on elderly patients. Many seniors had grown up with animals and found comfort in reconnecting with that part of their past. Therapy animals in nursing homes and assisted living facilities became constant companions rather than occasional visitors. They lived in the facilities, providing ongoing emotional support and social interaction for residents. The success of therapy animals in general medical settings led to their integration into mental health treatment. Psychiatric hospitals, addiction treatment centers, and counseling practices began incorporating animals into their therapeutic approaches. Oliver's calm presence and non-judgmental acceptance made him particularly effective with patients struggling with mental health issues. He provided a safe, non-threatening way for patients to practice social interaction and emotional expression. The integration of therapy animals into mental health treatment required specialized training for both animals and handlers. Mental health patients might have unpredictable behaviors or emotional outbursts that therapy animals need to handle appropriately. The scientific study of animal-assisted therapy evolved significantly due to Oliver's influence.
Researchers developed new methodologies for measuring the effects of human-animal interaction, including standardized assessment tools for therapy animal effectiveness, biomarker panels for measuring physiological responses, behavioral coding systems for analyzing animal-patient interactions, and longitudinal studies tracking long-term outcomes. These methodological advances allowed for more rigorous scientific evaluation of therapy animal programs, providing the evidence base needed for widespread adoption and insurance coverage. As therapy animal programs spread globally, cultural adaptation became crucial. What worked in American hospitals might not be appropriate in other cultural contexts. In some Middle Eastern countries, dogs were culturally unacceptable in medical settings, leading to programs focused on cats and birds. In parts of Asia, traditional beliefs about animal spirits required careful integration with modern therapy animal practices. Oliver's program developed cultural competency training for therapy animal handlers, teaching them to work respectfully within different cultural frameworks while maintaining the therapeutic benefits of human-animal interaction. The rapid expansion of therapy animal programs raised concerns about quality and safety. Not all programs maintained the high standards established by Oliver's team at Mercy General. Comprehensive quality assurance protocols were developed, including standardized training curricula for therapy animals and handlers, regular health screenings and behavioral assessments, incident reporting and analysis systems, continuous improvement processes based on outcome data. These protocols ensured that patients received safe, effective therapy animal services regardless of location or program size. The integration of therapy animals into healthcare required new insurance and liability frameworks. Questions arose about responsibility when therapy animals caused injury or property damage, or when patients had adverse reactions to animal contact. Specialized insurance products were developed for therapy animal programs. Legal frameworks established clear guidelines for liability and responsibility. Professional standards organizations created certification programs that provided legal protection for qualified programs. Oliver's work revealed the profound impact therapy animals could have on family dynamics during medical crises. Families dealing with serious illness often experienced stress, conflict, and communication breakdowns. Therapy animals provided a neutral focus that could bring families together. Children could express their fears to animals when they couldn't talk to adults. Parents found comfort in watching their sick children smile while petting therapy animals. The family impact extended beyond the immediate medical crisis. Many families reported that their experience with therapy animals led to improved communication, stronger bonds, and greater appreciation for the healing power of love and connection. The success of professional therapy animal programs led to the development of volunteer programs where community members could bring their pets to visit patients. These programs required careful screening and training but provided valuable services while building community connections. Oliver served as a mentor for volunteer therapy animals, demonstrating appropriate behavior and helping new animals adjust to the hospital environment. The volunteer programs also provided opportunities for retired therapy animals to continue contributing in less demanding roles. The scientific papers published about Oliver's work and the therapy animal program at Mercy General became some of the most cited articles in the field of animal-assisted therapy. These publications provided the evidence base that convinced skeptical medical professionals and administrators to implement their own programs. The research impact extended beyond animal-assisted therapy to influence broader discussions about holistic medicine, patient-centered care, and the importance of addressing emotional and spiritual needs alongside physical symptoms. Oliver's story evolved from local news curiosity to global phenomenon, but the media representation required careful management to maintain focus on the therapeutic benefits rather than just the entertainment value. Documentary filmmakers, journalists, and authors worked closely with the hospital to ensure accurate, respectful portrayal of therapy animal work. The media attention helped raise awareness and funding for programs while educating the public about the serious therapeutic benefits of human-animal interaction. As Oliver aged, legacy planning became increasingly important. The hospital established the Oliver Foundation, dedicated to supporting therapy animal programs worldwide. The foundation provided grants, training resources, and research funding to ensure Oliver's impact would continue long after his retirement. Succession planning identified and trained the next generation of therapy animals who could carry on Oliver's work. These animals learned not just therapeutic techniques, but also the special qualities that made Oliver so effective: patience, empathy, and an intuitive understanding of human needs. As Oliver entered his senior